There's a moment when love, shame, and survival blur into one impossible choice. This is about mine. I never imagined my life narrowing to a decision like this. But there it was, the eviction notice, folded neatly on the nightstand like it belonged there. Final warning. Kevin didn't know about the second one. I hadn't shown him. I couldn't. He lay beside me in bed, his face soft in sleep, still carrying the outline of the man who once led our life with quiet confidence. That version of him had slipped away, just like our savings. Just like our hope. We were 3 months behind on rent. I checked our bank app constantly, even though I knew the number, $42.17. That was it. That was us. We'd been married 6 years. We'd been through rough patches, setbacks, losses. But this wasn't a storm. Storms pass. This felt like drowning, slow, heavy, inescapable. Kevin had lost his job 4 months ago. Corporate restructuring. That single phrase gutted our world. Since then, he hadn't been the same, scrolling through job boards with empty eyes, nursing cold coffee, living in silence. I tried to carry what he couldn't. I sold my clothes, babysat, took online surveys for pennies. I even pawned my engagement ring. I told myself love wasn't a diamond. Still, the groceries it bought were gone in days. The apartment was small and aging, but it was home. Or it had been. Now it felt like a waiting room for failure. And then there was Marcus, our landlord. Late 30s. Quiet. Built like a man who could lift the whole building. Not cruel. Just unreadable. And he didn't do favors. No extensions. No exceptions. It was just past midnight when I left the bed, pulling on a hoodie, barefoot, the pavement still warm under my soles. I crossed the complex to his door. It smelled faintly of bleach and stale cigarettes. I knocked. He opened instantly. Shirtless. "Jessica," he said. "Can we talk?" He stepped aside. The apartment was cold, tidy. No photos. No clutter. No warmth. "I know we're behind," I began, forcing my voice not to crack. "I'm not asking for a pass. Just a little time. Please." He looked at me flatly, not unkind. "Time doesn't pay bills." "We're trying," I said. "Kevin's still looking. I'm doing everything I can. I could evict you tomorrow." I flinched. Then he added, "But there's another way." "What?" "One night. With me. The debt's gone." I froze. "You're joking." "I don't joke," he said simply. "You're a grown woman. It's your choice." I wanted to scream. To tell him no. But my body didn't move. It didn't say anything. I left without responding. The next morning, Kevin stirred beside me, his breathing soft. Every breath from him felt like glass in my lungs. 11 days until eviction. Maybe less. I couldn't tell him. Not because he wouldn't understand, but because he would. I called Sandra, my best friend. "You sound like hell," she said. "I haven't slept." "You always hold everything together. Don't fall apart now." That night, Kevin came home with another rejection. Too qualified, they said. He slammed his hand against the table. A plate cracked. "Maybe we should just leave," he muttered. "Sleep in the car. Start over." "With what?" I whispered. He went to bed early. I didn't. I stared at our account again. $42.17. My fingers hovered over my phone. Then typed, "Can we talk?" 10 minutes later, I stood at Marcus's door. He opened it, black t-shirt on, no expression. "You sure?" he asked. I nodded. No smile. No gloating. Just a nod toward the bedroom. "You can still back out," he said once more. "Let's just get it over with." It wasn't lust. It wasn't passion. It was a transaction. A quiet kind of desperation wrapped in skin. He was methodical, almost gentle. Like someone who'd done this before. Someone who knew what survival cost. When it ended, we dressed in silence. Kevin was asleep on the couch when I got home. I stood over him in the dark. "It's done," I whispered. But it wasn't. The days that followed were a blur. Food tasted like paper. The world lost its color. Kevin noticed. "You okay?" he asked. "Just tired," I lied. "We'll get through this." He smiled. I smiled back. A rent slip slid under the door the next morning. Balance, $0. No note. No message. Just a blank ledger. Kevin didn't ask. I didn't tell. Sandra called again. You sound off. I did something. Pause. Did you get the money? Sort of. Another pause. Then, that doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you someone who survived. But I didn't feel like I'd survived. I felt broken, like a mirror, too fractured to reflect anything whole. A week later, Kevin got a job in logistics. Long hours. Decent pay. He was thrilled. I tried to match his joy, but the weight in my chest held me down like an anchor. Marcus never brought it up. Passed me by the mailbox once. Didn't even nod. To him, it was nothing. To me, it was everything. That night, I stood in front of the mirror, fingers tracing the tired lines in my face. Not ruined, but not whole. And I wondered, when did surviving start to feel like shame?